Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hype, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, welcome back to the Baseball Hype 2, and hopefully like this video and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to talk about the Minnesota Twins. Believe it or not, I'm going to talk about the Minnesota Twins here. Obviously last week they basically unloaded a third of their team. Actually, almost half of their team got moved in trades before the trading deadline. The biggest trades was Johan Duran and, of course, Carlos Correa both got moved in trades that were very surprised, especially the Correa deal, because nobody had seen that coming. And they sent him back to Houston. And, of course, they also traded their setup man, Griffin Jacks, and they made so many moves. And this is from Outkick, and a lot of teams in the majors were surprised by it. This is from Outkick. Minnesota Twins comprehensive sell-off stuns MLB teams with shocking trade deadline moves. Report confirms other MLB teams were stunned by the comprehensive nature of the Twins' deadline moves. Well, so many players left. The 2025 Major League Baseball trade deadline has come and gone. Several teams were active on the buying and selling side. San Diego Padres proved once again that they don't care much for prospects, with top shortstop Leo DeVries sent to the A's for Mason Miller, and 10 other young players were traded away to improve in 24. New York Mets and New York Yankees went for bullpen help, bringing in Ryan Helsley, Tyler Rogers, Gregory Soto, Jake Bird, who's been sent down to the minors, if you don't know, unbelievably, David Bednar, and Camilo Doval. The early returns from both teams have been disappointing to say the least. No team, though, was more active than the Minnesota Twins. The Twins up for sale as an organization trimmed salary and players in a wild, shocking period leading up to the deadline. And a new report has confirmed that even other teams were stunned to see how comprehensive the Twins sell-off was, as well as what it says about how front offices approach the modern game. And this was just a shock for everybody, to be honest with you. It's one thing you move a couple of players, they moved pretty much everybody. And I think they would have traded Byron Buxton if they could, if he wasn't on the injured list for the millionth time. Bob Nightingale from USA Today spoke to several front office executives around baseball who were stunned at the scope and scale of the Twins' decision to sell. Quote, the deadline was going to be a complete dud, said one GM to Nightingale. What changed the entire deadline were the Twins selling. They said they were going to trade players on expiring contracts. They were going to revisit the other stuff in the winter. Then they started selling off everyone. They got rid of everybody. Quote, no one expected them to do this. That everyone going everywhere. The trade deadline wouldn't have been nearly this active without the Twins doing what they did. Why did they do that? Well, it's funny you should ask. Because they could save money and make the team more attractive to sell. But according to Nightingale, Houston Astros owner Jim Crane spoke to the current owners, the Poland family, emphasizing the fact that prospective buyers would be significantly more interested if the current roster had less in the way of expensive contracts and future commitments. Plus, you get to move on. You don't want to get stuck with these older guys, which makes sense. Sure enough, after initially downplaying the possibility of Carlos Correa trade back to his original organization, Twins ownership told the front office to re-engage with Houston. A few hours later, Correa was moved on and back with the Astros with tens of millions of dollars in savings returned to Minnesota. They even traded inexpensive players like reliever Luis Varland, while only making basically the league minimum and under cheap team control for the foreseeable future. Was born and raised in the Minneapolis area, was flopped for first baseman Ty France. According to the report, rival front office was dumbfounded. The team's general manager, Derek Falvey, told reporters that there was baseball trades based around the real talent they received, not based on the financial flexibility component to it. Why did the Twins do it? Because front offices and ownerships have entirely removed the emotion and the value of wins over losses from the game. For better or worse, teams have realized that finishing 82 and 80 simply isn't meaningful relative to finishing 74 and 88. There's no point in being in the middle. The thinking goes. And it has merit. Saving money and improving future production is important. But also tells your fan that there's no point in showing up. That money comes first, not the marginal value in winning. That the business side of the organization comes before the competitive side. Homegrown talent is meaningful compared to talent to contract status. It is a disheartening view of baseball, though it's rapidly becoming the most prevalent one. The 2025 trade deadline proved that once and for all. I don't know about that. But I mean, the biggest thing in this article is the fact that they're going to have a new owner. And it makes sense to move all these contracts and players that are close. That's going to cost them money. And they can just start fresh. I mean, the new ownership can come in there and start fresh. They can bring in the new players, and have their own system put in. I mean, the Pollard family's owned this team for 60 years. They've owned it forever, and obviously they didn't want to keep the team. They wanted to move on. And that's that. And that's the story. Now, hopefully you like this video, and we'll have more stuff on everybody, every day in the major leagues. Not just the New York Yankees, but everybody. So thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you later.